Take this opportunity to find your way down onto your mat, lowering yourself into your Shavasana. Spread your feet, your arms out wide away from your body. Find softness to the ankles, the wrists. Let the palms face up. The fingers spread wide as they hover softly above your floor. Tuck your shoulder blades beneath you. Create a sense of openness through the chest, the throat, and the collarbones. Draw your chin in ever so slightly towards that open chest, lengthening up the back of your neck before allowing the head to grow heavy on the mat. Make any last-minute adjustments that you need to find comfort here on the mat. And offer your thoughts one brief second to let go of anything else that you may be holding on to. Any challenges from your day, your week, any anticipations of your week to follow, let that go. You have the opportunity after your practice to pick up those thoughts again. But for just this 1 hour, redirect your thoughts. Redirect your awareness to the breath as it moves in and out through your body. Experiencing the gentle rise and fall of belly and chest with every breath. And as you lie here on your back, start to slow the breath, redirecting it in and out through just the nose. Letting each breath in be your invitation to take up space in the room you've chosen for your practice. Expanding in all directions with each breath in. Softening, melting into the floor with each breath out. Really grounding you here in this space and in this moment of time. Start to slowly awaken the body by wiggling the fingers and the toes. Find some gentle rotations to the wrists and the ankles. In both directions. Slide your feet together at the bottom of your mat. Draw the knees in towards your chest, interlacing the fingers, taking hold of the knees or the thighs. Hug them in close towards your belly. Maybe a gentle rock from side to side, massaging your low back. Draw circles with your knees in both directions. Keep the right knee drawn in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers around that side. Extend the left leg long to the bottom of your mat. Draw your toes towards your face. The left leg is active, left ankle is flexed, but you can soften through the right. Wind relieving pose. Find equal weight in all four corners of your back body. Maintaining that length up your spine all the way into your neck. Softness through your face and jaw. Stay in stillness, or you can take some gentle rotations with the right knee, but be as stable as you can through the left. Really rooting down through the left hip, the left side body. Rotating the opposite direction. And landing once again in stillness in the center. The right knee still drawn in close towards the chest. Lift the left heel up off of the mat. Keep the leg extended long and straight. Right knee hugged in, left heel is lifted, reaching for the back of the mat, just hovering ever so slightly above the floor. Start to point through the left toes, reaching now from the big toe of the left foot to the top of the head. And then flexing the ankle once again, drawing the toes towards your face. If ever this becomes too much, you can always lower the heel to the mat again. Otherwise, keep that heel lifted, working on a little bit of strength building here. A little bit of engagement through the leg, through the core as you point and flex your toes. Moving slowly and mindfully. Maybe even linking each movement to a breath. Slowly lower the left heel to the mat. With the right knee hugged in, take hold of it with your left hand. Release the right arm at your side, lengthen through the spine, and then find a twist. Guide the right leg across your body over to the left. Send your right shoulder into your mat. Option to keep the right leg bent, or you can extend it long. Straightening through the right leg, maybe sliding your left hand down towards the ankle or big toes. Creating as much distance as you can between the right hip and the right shoulder. Either looking straight up at the ceiling or over to the right. Bring your gaze back through center. Gently bend the right knee if it's straight and draw that through center as well. Hug the right knee close to your body. And then transition your grip to the back of your right thigh. Extend the right heel up towards the ceiling. Working towards a straight leg, but you don't have to get there today. If this is a little too much in your body for today's practice, you can always bend the left knee, bringing the sole of your left foot onto the mat to ease off just a little bit. Otherwise, both legs are extended and active. Muscles draw in towards the bones. The ankles are flexed towards your face. Finding a bit of stretch, a bit of openness to the back of your right thigh. Really pressing the right thigh into the interlaced fingers and the interlaced fingers into the thigh. Find some resistance in that area. Really feeling the hamstrings engage between the palms of your hands. Bend your left knee, bring the sole of your left foot onto the mat. Turn the right toes to face the right side wall. Bring the pinky toe edge of the right foot onto your left thigh and send the right knee away from your shoulders. As the right knee is reaching away from the shoulders, so is the left hip. Toes of your right foot are drawn towards the right shin. You can keep the left foot on the floor, you can step it up onto a block or even up against a wall, or you can interlace the fingers behind your left thigh. Just finding what level feels good for you. As much as the left knee draws in, the right knee continues to reach away from you. Even weight both left and right sides, all four corners of the pelvis, including the tailbone. Slowly lower the left foot onto the mat. Continue the cross of your legs. Slide the right leg completely over the left, bringing the thighs towards one another. And then hug your crossed legs in towards your chest this time. Looking for a bit of a stretch into the hip, the glute, even the outer thigh. If you're not quite feeling a stretch here, keep the knees hugged in, but you can start to walk your hands down your shins towards your ankles, drawing the heels away from one another. The knees hug in close, the heels start to separate, creating space between the feet. Pressing the tailbone of the pelvis into the mat as the knees squeeze into the chest. Slowly release. Let the right foot join the left on the floor. And then extend the legs long. Find a mini shavasana here. Just doing a gentle scan of your body, noticing any subtle changes from left to right sides. Slide your feet together at the bottom of your mat. Hug the left knee in towards your chest, interlacing your fingers around the shin or the thigh. Maybe interlacing in the opposite of your natural grip. Find some activation through the right leg, deep flex in the ankle, the heels resting softly on the floor to begin. Drawing the right kneecap up towards the hip. As you root heavily through both left and right sides of the pelvis. Each breath in, lengthening from the right heel to the top of your head. Each breath out, gentle pressure on the left knee brings it in a little bit closer to your chest. Keep the big toe of the right foot pointing up towards the ceiling. It's going to naturally want to fall open to the right here. Really stay focused on the activation through your right leg. Staying in stillness or take a few gentle circles with the left knee. In both directions. Find your center. Hug the left knee in close. Reach through your right heel, start to lift the right heel off of the mat just to a hover. So we don't have to come up super duper high here. We want it just barely touching the mat. Active right thigh and glute. Toes are pointing up towards the ceiling on the right foot. The left ankle can be relaxed. From here, start to alternate between pointing through the big toe and flexing the ankle, bringing the toes to point to the ceiling. So you're not necessarily changing the height of the leg here. You're just flexing and pointing through the ankle. Keep the hips as square and even as you can as you move through these ankle flexions. And taking one more in each direction. As you flex the ankle, let the right heel lower to the mat. Left knee stays drawn in, release the left arm at your side. Start to guide the left knee across your body over to the right for your twist. The left knee can stay bent or you can straighten it. Maybe sliding the right hand down towards the ankle or the foot. Gazes to the ceiling or over to the left as you send the left shoulder down into your mat. Bring space between the left hip, the left shoulder, sending your breath into your lower left belly. Bring your gaze back to the center. Slowly with control, start to bend the left knee. Bring the left knee back through center as well. Hug the left knee in close towards your body. And transition your grip to the back of your left thigh. Reach the left foot up towards the ceiling. Find your hamstring stretch. So again, you may have to bring a bend into the right knee, that's fine. If the legs are extended, you want them both to stay active here. See if you can keep your elbows drawn in close towards the ribs. And use the biceps to draw the leg in a little bit closer without being forceful. Start to bend the right knee, bring the sole of the right foot onto the mat. Turn the left toes to face the left side wall. Let the pinky toe edge of the left foot land on your right thigh and find your reclined pigeon pose or thread the needle, creating that figure four shape with your legs and sending the left knee away from the shoulder. Stay here with the right foot on the floor, or you can start to draw the right knee in towards the right shoulder. Reach the left knee away from the left. Can you find some softness in your face, your jaw? Can you smooth out your breath? Lower the right foot onto the mat. We're going to complete the cross of the legs, so slide the left leg all the way over the right. With the crossed legs, draw the knees in towards your chest. If you're still not really feeling a stretch into the hip and glute area, you can start to send the feet a little bit wider apart. Walk the hands down the shins towards the ankles or feet. Use the hands to draw the heels away from one another as you squeeze the knees in close towards your chest. Just being mindful here, any pinching or pain in the knee joint, that is not a normal sign you should come out. It's a sign you're going a little bit too far today. It's kind of into the left hip and glute area that you should be feeling this stretch the most. Really pressing down through your pelvis. Reconnecting with your breath. Slowly with control, release the heels. Let the soles of the feet find the floor, maybe a gentle sway from side to side with the knees. Bring your right arm up overhead and roll over onto your right side body. You can use the right arm as a pillow, draw the knees in close towards your chest. Let the left palm rest softly on the floor or on your body. Finding a moment of stillness. Releasing any attachment that you may be holding on to from the beginning of class, or any anticipation of what's to follow. When you feel ready in your own time, find your way up to a tabletop position. With a flat back, shoulders over wrist, hips over knees. We're going to move through a few cat-cows. With a big breath in, send your tailbone up towards the sky, let your belly drop. Heart comes forward between your arms, gaze comes up to the sky. Exhale, tuck your tailbone. Round through the spine, hollow out your chest and gaze to your belly button. Inhale, cow, lifted, tailbone, belly drops, heart comes forward, gaze comes up. Exhale, cat, rounding your spine, tuck your tailbone. Really press down through the hands as you hollow out your chest and gaze to the belly. Inhale, cow. Without actually moving the hands, think about drawing the palm of the hands towards the knees. Exhale, cat. Following your own rhythm of breath. Finding 3 more at your own pace. Letting each cycle be a little bit slower than the one before. No rush at all, but when you finished your 3, just landing in a neutral spine. The gaze is between your hands, the spine is long and flat. We're going to pivot the hands to turn the fingertips to face the knees. So it's as if you're putting the hands on backwards here. Palms are still on the floor, fingertips spread wide. Thumbs are towards the edges of your mat, not the midline. With the fingertips spread wide, pressing down evenly through all 10 fingers. Pressing down through all 4 corners of the palm as you lift the center of the palm off of the mat. You don't have to get actual height from the palm. We want all 4 corners to still be in contact, so it's as if you're just doing a little hollowing, maybe as if there was a little ant or something under there that you're trying not to squish. You might be feeling a lot of a stretch into the wrist here, and if you are, you can always just come up and do 1 wrist at a time by sending the fingertips towards the arm. If you're not quite feeling much or you have a little more room to move, you can start to shift some weight back, sending the hips towards the heels while still pressing down through the base of your palm. Doing your best to keep the elbows straight and just noticing if you have a bit of a hypermobile elbow, meaning the elbow bends backwards a little bit, you might be better suited to maintain a little bit of a bend in the elbows. is an area that a lot of us hold tension. We can also end up with carpal tunnel in our line of work. So it's just a good way to find some space to stretch out these tight areas that find overuse throughout our days. Start to shift some weight forward. Release the hands, let them return to their natural position, maybe rolling them out one at a time. Let the big toes come to touch, send the knees wide apart. Shift your hips back towards your heels for a child's pose. Slide the fingertips away from you. Your forehead resting on the mat or on a block or pillow. This can be as active or as passive as you like. So if you want a little more passive, just bend at the elbows, let the forearms rest on the floor. If you want more active, slide the fingertips away from you, press down through the fingertips, lifting the elbows off of the mat, drawing the shoulders away from your ears as you lengthen through the spine. Every breath in, creating space, and every breath out, surrendering to gravity, letting the hips sink a little deeper towards the heels. Rise back up to tabletop. Bring some weight into the left palm. You may find it easier to bring your left palm beneath your face, closer to the center. Big breath in. We're going to reach the right fingertips high towards the ceiling, gaze up. As you exhale, bring the right arm through the space between the left arm and your thigh. Palm faces up as it slides over to the left. Peekaboo under your arm. Press down to the left hand. Lift back up. Big breath in, reaching up, gazes up. Exhale, thread it through. Right palm stays facing up as you slide the right shoulder, the top right corner of the head towards the mat. One more time, big breath in, reach up. And as you exhale, thread the arm through. This time we're going to land in the pose for a few breaths. So the top right corner of the head is on the mat. The outer right shoulder, palm of the right hand faces up as you press down through your entire right arm all the way to your fingertips. The left hand can start to walk long towards the end of the mat. Or you can bring it up and place the back side of your hand onto your low back or reach for the right hip. Opening your heart up to the left side wall. Keep breathing in this pose. Think about sending the right fingertips as far over to the left as you can. At the same time, the right shoulder is drawn back into its joint. Release the left hand back onto the mat. Press down through the left palm. Big breath in, rise up. Exhale, right hand finds the mat. Big toes come to touch, knees go wide apart. Shift your hips back. Child's pose. Again, letting it be as active or as passive as you like this time. Rising up through tabletop. Right palm comes beneath your face. Left fingertips are going to reach up high towards the ceiling. Gaze up. Exhale, thread your left arm through, over to the right. Top left corner of your mat find, or of your head rather, find the mat. Press down through the right palm, rising up. Exhale, thread it through. Big breath in, rise up. Exhale, thread it through. This time we're going to land the pose. So slide the left arm through, lowering the shoulder. Top left corner of your head finds the mat. See if you can find a straight line with the left arm. So rather than the fingertips reaching for the toes or towards the front of your mat, find the direct sideways motion. Left fingertips are reaching out away from the left shoulder. Choose the variation for the right arm that feels best. So maybe that's reaching out straight in front of you, or bringing it back up to rest onto the outer left hip or lower back, opening your heart up to the right side wall. Release the right hand to the mat, big breath in, rise up with the left. And let the left hand find the mat, joining the right. Find your tabletop, hips once again are directly over the knees, shoulders over wrists to begin. Keep the hips just as they are. The hips stay lifted. We're going to start to walk the fingertips away, lowering the chest towards the mat for puppy pose. So it's as if we're coming to a child's pose, but we're not sinking the hips back this time. Rather, the hips stay lifted and we start to just sink the heart towards the mat. Gaze is to the mat, chin slightly tucked as you lower the heart down. Option here, if you're getting really low, you can turn the gaze forward, bringing the chin and heart to the mat. You do not have to touch the floor with the chest or the chin. Making sure you're able to maintain a slow rhythm of breath here. Hips stay lifted, fingertips slide away from you, shoulders away from the ears. Slowly rise back up. Let the knees be a little more narrow this time. Sink the hips back towards the heels. Lower the forehead to your mat for a narrow leg child's pose. But you can have as much space as you need between the thighs to create space for your belly. From here, sliding the fingertips back towards the toes. Rounding through the upper body, the upper back, the shoulders. Slide the fingertips forward, rise up to tabletop, a gentle sway from side to side, let that go. Reach the right toes behind you, turn the right toes to face the right side wall, bend your right knee as you step forward to the top right corner of your mat, take as many steps as you need. And start to heel toe the right foot through center, finding a low lunge. Now you can have as much or as little bend in the back leg as you need, as long as you're feeling a stretch in the front of the left thigh. You want the right knee pointing the same direction as the right toes, hugged in slightly towards the midline. Finding equal weight on all four corners of the right foot. Without actually moving the feet, think about drawing the right heel towards the back of your mat as if you're trying to scrunch up the mat in the center. But remembering to not actually do that. It's just the direction that you're drawing the heels. We don't want the foot to move. You can stay with your hands on the floor. You can start to walk them up onto the right thigh for a little bit of height. Squeezing the inner thighs towards one another, the outer hips reach out and back. An option to rise the hands up towards the ceiling. Drawing the shoulders away from your ears, heart and gaze are forward. Slowly lower your hands towards the mat. Walk the fingers back towards your hips, lifting up onto the heel of the right foot. Draw your right toes towards your face. Square up your hips here. So rather than sinking the right hip towards the left heel, think about sending the left hip towards the left heel. We're not necessarily trying to sit down onto it. Instead, we want to focus on lengthening from the tailbone to the top of the head, as though the tailbone is reaching to the inside of the left foot, but the direction of the top of the head is pulling so much that it's resisting that movement. Feeling a stretch here through the back of the right thigh, maybe into the calf. Really pull the right toes towards your face. From here, start to point through the front toes, reaching through the big toe as if you're trying to step the foot down onto a gas pedal here, as if you're trying to press the sole of the foot onto the mat. From here, walk forward, bringing a bend into the right knee. Right hand comes to the inside of the right foot. Heel toe, the right foot to the outer corner. Shift your hips back. Slide the right foot to the back of the mat. And then over to the left. Tuck your toes. So the right foot is extended long to the bottom left corner of the mat. Hips are even as you gaze over the left shoulder towards the right heel. See if you can bring some weight into the big toe mound of the right foot, really reaching through the inner arch side of the heel. Gaze comes back through center. Return to your tabletop and a gentle sway from side to side. Find stillness in your table. We'll move to the opposite side. Left leg extends long. Turn the toes to face the left side of the rim. Bend your left knee as you step forward to the top left corner of your mat. Heel toe, left foot through center. You can always use your left hand to pick up your left foot and move it forward if need be. The hands are framing your left foot. Start to settle into your low lunge. So again, just choosing the amount of bend in the right knee that feels best. You may find it helpful to fold over the side of your mat for some extra cushion beneath your knee or use a folded towel. Sometimes it can be helpful to tuck the toes instead if you have knee pain. Once you find your balance, once you're engaged in your lunge, option to bring the hands up onto the knee, find a little height. Hips stay square, so think about sending the left hip back a little bit, the right hip forward a little bit to even out those hips. Core stays engaged, low ribs drawn in. Staying here, working on this level of lunge, or you can reach the fingertips high. Strong and stable in the lunge. The wider your stance, the better your balance will be here. Slowly lower the fingertips down towards the floor. Start to walk the hands back towards your hips, coming up onto the left heel. Work towards a flat back, so rather than having a curved cat-like back, trying so hard to touch your forehead to your shin, instead, lengthen through the spine. Think about sending your belly button beyond the left knee. And the heart beyond your left ankle. The forehead beyond your toes. Once again, that isometric movement, so without actually moving the mat, think about drawing the left heel towards the inner right knee, as though you're trying to rumple up your mat without actually moving the foot. Left ankle is flexed, toes drawn towards your face evenly. And then from here, we're going to press down the sole of the foot as if you're trying to stand the sole of the foot onto the mat. Both pinky toe side and big toe side of the foot is reaching down. Find your flat back. Start to walk the hands forward as you bend your left knee, framing the left foot. Left hand comes to the inside of your left thigh, heel toe to the outer edge. Shift a little bit of weight back in the hips here. And we're going to slide the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. All the way over to the right and tuck the toes as you land the foot on the floor. Left foot is extended long to the bottom right corner of the mat. Hips are even. Shoulders over wrist as you gaze over the right shoulder towards that left heel. Bringing a little more weight into the big toe mound of the left foot as you press down to the heel. Gaze comes back through center. Left leg will follow. Find your tabletop and a gentle sway from side to side. From here, we're going to come to land on our back. Legs extended long. Reach the arms up overhead. Find a full body stretch here. So as you breathe in, reaching from fingertips to toes, lengthening through the spine. As you breathe out, soften, let that effort go. Big breath in, full body stretch. Exhale, let it go. Big breath in, full body stretch. And exhale, let it go. We're going to walk our feet to the bottom right corner of the mat. Keep the hips centered or slightly to the left here. And then start to slide the upper body to the top right corner of the mat. The same way we found that full body stretch, we're going to find that up the left side body here. So as you inhale, lengthening from the left foot to the left fingertips. Pressing down through the outer left hip. As you exhale, soften. Creating some length of the left side body here. Option to cross the left ankle over the right if you have the space to do so. And cross with the ankles. Turn to the center and take a full body stretch. Big breath in. Soft breath out. Big breath in, neutralizing the spine. Exhale, let it go. One more time, big breath in. Exhale, soften. We'll move to the opposite side so the hips stay centered here. But we're going to walk our feet to the bottom left corner. The hips stay just as they are as we shift our upper body to the top left corner as well. Creating length of our right side body here. Pressing down through the outer right hip, the right shoulder. Breathing space into the right waist, right hip, right thigh with every breath. The feet can stay side by side, or you can cross the right ankle over left. Using the left foot to add a little bit of traction and lengthen through the right leg. Slowly release that. Find your way through the center. And take one more big full body stretch, the biggest stretch of your day. As you exhale, let that go. Slide your arms beside you nice and wide. Send your feet to the bottom corners of the mat. Settle into your final resting pose, Shavasana. Letting the limbs grow heavy. Letting go of the effort through the ankles and the wrists, fingers and the toes. As the limbs, both left and right, grow heavy on the mat. Sinking deeper and deeper into the earth with every breath out. The entire back body supported and safe here on your mat. Begin to reconnect with your breath as you witness it moving in and out through your belly and chest. Feel the length created through your entire spine all the way up your neck. Quite softness in the face, the jaw, tongue. Holding on to this stillness, this connection with breath for as long as you have available to you. And when it does feel time to get up and go, do so slowly and mindfully. Taking a little bit of the sense of openness you've cultivated here on your mat today with you into the rest of your week. With such gratitude as always. Namaste.